And it's a Fifth Row Friday thanks to our friends at BB Go, the official game day snack of the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh, and it's a 7-10 combo plate, but one of those ones where we just shorten the shows.
This is the 710 Combo Plate.
So coming up at 3 o'clock, Shidano and Cappy. I'm even going to be in studio for a little celebration on that show. And at 5 o'clock, we'll bring you the Pac-12 championship game.
A nice Pricks Fix.
You know, that was great foreshadowing by Mason. Mason and Ireland, your Friday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Making arrangements for another Pricks Fix for Christmas dinner. Went out for Thanksgiving, going out for Christmas too.
You know what tonight is, Mace? Spinning salad night for me.
Oh, are you going to Lowry's?
Tonight.
Oh, that is so great.
Yeah.
We're going on Christmas Eve this year.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Oh, so cool. Lowry's, they all dress up in like colonial garb. And they spin a salad really fast on a big block of ice, and they
give you a giant Fred Flintstone size of prime rib. It's fantastic.
And they're playing Christmas music. It's all decorated. It is so cool. It's right up there with, and this year I think we're both doing this, going to see the production of Love Actually at the Wallace Theater in Beverly Hills.
Bought my tickets 2 days ago. I'm going on Sunday the 10th for a matinee.
You've been there a couple of times. I've been there. I think
this will be my third time going.
Yeah, and I think this will be our fourth time going. It is so good. What's weird is twice I've run into Neil Everett and his wife at Love Actually. We just happen to be winding up at the same shows for whatever reason. But
Neil, now that Neil's semi-retired, and I'm very jealous of that, he might be going every night. He likes Love Actually as much as I do.
Oh God, he does love it. It is. If you've never seen it, it's to describe it in short. It's the movie Love Actually, the 2003 movie, played on big screens around a stage while people sing the really cool soundtrack songs to go along with the movie. It's really
at
a great
great
show.
theater too. That Wallace Theater is fantastic. Can't recommend it enough if you're looking for something to do at Christmas.
You know, I'll tell you something weird about the Wallace Theater. So there I am. Last year, we went to see a show that featured all the music from Pat Benatar.
Okay.
And on the surface, I'm like, oh, cool, Pat Benatar music. Once I get there, it's like Romeo and Juliet told with like Children of the Night and Hit Me With Your Best Shot. And it was a very small crowd. And I'm like, they're up there performing, and you know the place is a third full, and you feel like you need to clap louder because there's nobody else there. But the show was awful. We stuck it out to the end for the cast, but not for the show.
Right.
That was a failure, Pat.
And I'm assuming Pat Benatar herself was not part of this.
No, she produced it.
Yeah, but
it was hers, but she didn't.
She
wasn't
was
in
actually
it.
singing the songs. It might have saved.
Yeah, no. Pat Benatar performed at the Pink concert.
Oh, that would have been good.
Interesting thing about Pat Benatar, she married her lead guitarist, a guy named Neil Giraldo.
Neil Giraldo,
and they're still married.
Yep.
Normally, those rock and roll marriages never last.
He was the co-executive producer of that bad show that will never be seen again. All right, so Rams on John, are you feeling it? In the hunt, you always said respect the hunt. Respect the hunt. We're in this thing, man.
Let me tell you something. After watching that game last week, I think the Rams are going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to beat Cleveland, and I think they're going. I don't know if they're going to do anything once they get there, but they're going to get there. I believe. I don't think they lose this week. Do you?
No.
You might get Joe Flacco at quarterback if DTR doesn't clear concussion protocol. The Browns have said Joe Flacco is going to start. I mean, that guy was sitting on his couch eating chips 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, well, of course, Cappy's really good friends with the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, and it sounds like, not that we got it from Cappy, but there are so many reports about Flacco being QB1. I kind of expecting to see him on Saturday. It's 3.5 points is the spread. Rams favored. What?
So Adam Schefter 5 minutes ago, Browns quarterback Joe Flacco will start Sunday versus the Rams.
Okay.
So there you
now
go.
You got something.
We got Flacco. So, yeah, give me $25,000 mythical dollars on the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday. And Ireland.
$5K.
Ireland, I'm on a roll.
Now, tell me the parlay you hit last night.
Okay.
I didn't hear you make it.
So it was a 4-leg parlay last night, and it was a Oklahoma City Lakers game. And here's what I didn't do. I did not bet on the Lakers. I did not think the Lakers were going to win the game.
Second night of a back-to-back, they're 1-3 on the second night. And had you called me, I would have told you
don't bet on them.
That's a smart move. Yeah, because of how many guys that were hurt. They really only had 7 guys last night. And so everybody, like, I think Torian Prince had to play like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
It just and Oklahoma City is young and they're athletic. And I think if it was a 7-game series, the Lakers would win it. But one game on the second night of a back-to-back when OKC was already waiting didn't look good.
Okay, so I bet 10,000 mythical dollars on Lakers Thunder over 228.5.
Okay.
SGA over 5.5 assists.
Okay.
AD over 13.5 rebounds. He finished with 14.
That's a good one.
He got that one, by the way, right before he went out of the game.
And then LeBron over 2.5 threes, and he got that. That means, what is 11-1?
$110,000.
Beautiful.
So what are the official mythical money standings now, Bergman? Do you have them figured out?
I do have them right here. $285,000 for you, Mace. $338,000 for Ireland. I have $13,000 because I won Game of Games for the month of November to give me $10K. And Brian is at 78.
Brian, you don't bet.
He doesn't.
I've lost on the Chargers a couple times. So
Is that the only game you'll bet is the Chargers?
no, I'll bet on the Rams this week.
Brian, who are the Chargers playing this week?
Patriots in New England.
Oh, you got to win that.
They got to be favored, right?
I would say yes, but I haven't
New
seen
England's.
All right, Greg, we're getting odds from ESPN Bet, right?
Yeah,
ESPN
ESPN
bet.
bet.
If that's not a ridiculous spread, I'm taking the Chargers at New England.
You are.
You should never take the Chargers.
No, I am.
You're making
I
a
am
wager
clear.
on the Chargers?
I am to support my guy Josh Ruprecht and to support Brian Cohen. Nobody thinks they have a chance. I am going to make a dumb bet because I want the mythical money. Okay, they're favored by 5.5
At New England.
at New England. $10,000 on the Chargers.
Come on, if you're so serious about it, go bigger.
Yeah,
you have
well, I'm gonna make-
$338K.
No, I know. I'm going to make more bets. This
Okay.
is my first bet.
Okay.
So it was Chargers. What was it?
5.5.
I got to give 5.5.
I'll take that same bet.
Same
Oh, no,
bet.
you
How
gotta-
much?
you gotta
No,
go-
you got to
gotta
bet
go
more.
bigger.
Brian,
You
you
gotta
got to
bet
bet
more.
more than me. You got to bet like 15.
Give me 25.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Brian.
25.
I can't wait for you guys to lose
Come on.
more money.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, Greg, how much money do you have?
I have 13.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
How much do I have?
About 300 and
Yeah,
something.
we're not
Yeah,
taking
yeah. Go
advice
ahead, keep
from
talking smack. It's a good look for you.
Yeah.
Mythical
By the way, whenever we talk mythical money, it is brought to you by Prize Picks, the largest and #1 daily fantasy sports platform in North America. New members go to prizepicks.com/710. Use code 710 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. All right, coming up next. Boy, you guys turned on Chip Kelly in a big way. About midseason, you were like, Ireland, a month ago, you were saying, gosh, I like him. He's showing emotion. Now you want him canned. And you're not the only one. We'll get into that coming up
No, we
next.
are not.
Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. What do I got here, Bergman?
Jacob.
Thank you. All right, so it's Friday. You're driving home from work, and some dope is texting on their phone, and they hit you and they cause a traffic accident, or they swerve into your lane, or whatever that happens to be. You're immediately sore, but your doctor's office is already closed for the weekend, so you wait until Monday, and you call them, and they say, we're booked solid. You can't get in for an appointment for at least another week or 2 weeks, and suddenly you've gone 10 days without any treatment for your injury. Do not do this to yourself. If you're injured, call Jacob, even on a Friday night. My friend Jacob and his team will guide you, letting you know if you should go to urgent care or the emergency room, or they'll get you a doctor's appointment for you Monday with a specialist in your area that not only will document your injuries, but get you back on the road to recovery without any delay. So if you're injured in any kind of accident, remember 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. 844-24-JACOB. Or remember,
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
calljacob.com. And don't forget, you can follow Call Jacob on Instagram and Facebook. Go to @call.jacob. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
continues now.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
It's F-It Friday. Ireland is at home, and we're all in the studio, and Ireland got back from a road trip, and Ireland...
2:30 last night, Mace.
Damn, man, damn. Have you ever used the word kibosh?
Sure. Like if we were talking about the Fortenbaugh thing, Morales put the kibosh on the podcast.
Exactly.
It's to squash something.
Al Michaels used it last night during the Thursday night football game. He said he mentioned all the stats about the Dallas kicker. He almost missed a field goal, and then he said, "Thank God I didn't put the kibosh on him." So it's a good word. I haven't heard it in a long time. It's a big old school word.
I just love I don't give a crap Al Michaels.
Yeah.
I know like people are like, you know how I feel about social media.
Yeah,
I hate it. And they're just ripping Al because they say he doesn't have I'm biased. I love Al. I think he's like the best to ever do it. I'm friends with his daughter. I've liked him forever.
Right.
But the fact that Al does not have a care in the world about getting fired or what people think of him is fantastic.
Yeah. Last night, Bergman, you played a clip from Al for me today.
It was just amazing. I've always kind of ripped on Al when he was with low energy and bad calls and a lot of those things.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
But that last night was peak Al Michaels, and I have so much more respect for him. There was like 270 yards of penalties and 25 flags, and he just didn't care anymore. Do you have that clip?
Can I say while you're looking for that clip? Let me say something. You could call, and this is true in the NBA, the NFL, not as much in Major League Baseball, but to some extent.
Right.
You can call something on every play if you want to. There's holding that goes on every play in the NFL.
Yep.
The official's job as a whole, as a group, whether it's the 8 NFL refs or the 3 NBA refs, is to manage the game. The game is an entertainment product. Greg, I don't know if you were exaggerating, but if they called 250 yards worth of penalties last night.
I don't think
in the third quarter. I'm not exaggerating. In the third quarter.
Okay, all those refs should be suspended for a week. All of them. Because you didn't manage the game. You didn't do your job.
So we have the clip. Go ahead, Brian.
Here's Al Michaels.
We're going to take the rest of the night off and let Cleek Blakeman call the game. You buying? Sure.
That's the official.
Yeah. Hey, Cleek Blakeman, we know you can call a foul on every play if you want to. We get it. We get you like being on TV. Do your job. Manage the game.
How many fouls do you call, though? How many? It's very difficult to determine if you're going to call it the same all the time. Then
here's a good example.
Okay.
I covered most of Shaq's career. I got to KCAL the same time Shaq got to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
So certainly every Laker game I saw that Shaq played, and he either got fouled or committed a foul on every play. He was just too big. You couldn't guard him. What the refs did was they managed the game. They said, okay, unless the other team gets a competitive advantage, like if they tackle him, we're not going to call it. And if Shaq turns and knocks somebody over, he's allowed to pivot.
Right.
I know he knocks somebody over, but he's allowed to pivot. He's allowed to turn. We're not going to call that. And that way you don't get a whistle on every play and we don't get a 4-hour game.
Right.
And Greg, you're saying last night the game dragged because these guys kept throwing flags?
So I found the numbers. So there were a total of 19 accepted penalties. So they didn't accept – there was more flags thrown, but they didn't accept all of them.
That's terrible.
For a total of 257 yards.
Yeah,
130
crazy.
on the Seahawks and 127 on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's too many penalties.
Yeah, that definitely is. Definitely is.
Nobody pays to see the officials in any sport. You can manage the game. And I'm not saying never call anything. I'm not trying to say go to the other extreme. But if you want to call holding on every play, you could do it. And when they go back and look at the film, you'd probably be correct. But you're not doing your job. You're not managing the game.
Yeah. Okay. Chip Kelly. Bruins finished 7-5. They're going to a bowl game. They will go to a bowl game, some other bowl,
Yeah,
right?
we don't know which one.
They'll get invited.
Yeah.
There's not going to be anybody there. Everybody's in
They'll
the
go,
transfer
though.
They're all in the
portal.
transfer portal
Yeah,
now.
they are all in the transfer portal. So you guys have turned completely on Chip Kelly. Bergman has turned. You turned a while ago. Bergman turned after they beat USC.
I turned after they lost to ASU.
The ASU loss and the Cal loss should have told UCLA officials everything they needed to know about Chip Kelly. If you're okay with 7-5 every year, keep him, because that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, he's 33-33, Mace, as the coach at UCLA. So, I mean, if you're okay with 6-6 and 7-5, and Chip likes to point to the last 3 years.
Well, yeah, no, the last 3 years he won 9 games, and 7 games.
Yeah, but the 7 games, he's moving in the wrong direction. And here's the thing: if you're going to act like Chip, and you're not going to go to glad-handed alumni functions, you're not going to get involved with NIL, you're not going to, Chip's big thing is books and ball. That's all he cares about.
Books and ball.
That's his big line. He
Those
just
days
wants
are
kids
over.
to go to school and play ball.
It's now bucks and ball.
Correct. And if you're not going to play the game, and you're not going to recruit 5 stars, and you're not going to go to these dinners where you have to kiss the ring of these rich alumni dudes, then you're not, okay. Then you're 7-5. If that's what they want, they've got the right guy.
Absolutely. And did you know what this schedule was? This was the easiest schedule this year for UCLA as it's been in years.
Right.
So to only win 7 games, I mean, look, North Carolina Central, San Diego State, Coastal Carolina, Utah.
By the way,
was tough.
San Diego State fired their coach.
Right. Washington State wasn't that great. Oregon State was pretty good this year, but they should have won that game. Stanford was terrible. Colorado was terrible. Arizona was pretty bad.
No, Arizona
until the end of the year,
top 25
they
team,
could have won that game. Arizona State was awful.
Yeah,
USC
terrible.
was awful, and Cal was awful.
Yeah.
Like that was an easy schedule, and they won 7 games.
Yeah.
And Mace, here's the thing: had they been competitive against Arizona State and competitive against Cal,
right?
Oh, by the way, both games at the Rose Bowl, you could make an argument. Yeah, one play here or there. They weren't competitive in either game.
They
and
scored
USC
14
quit.
combined points.
USC quit.
UCLA I would argue USC never even started.
Right. UCLA didn't win that game as much as USC mailed it in.
Yeah, they did.
If that's what you're hanging your hat on, and it's a weird time at UCLA because the chancellor's leaving. I'm not sure Martin Jarman is allowed to make this call as the AD.
Right.
I think that it's guys because Chip's the highest paid. Chip and Mick Cronin are the 2 highest paid people at the school. And they should be.
I think they're
because
like the 2 highest paid people in the state, right?
Well, because it's a state
school, yeah.
But if you're gonna take that check, if you're gonna be the highest paid guy, you've got to be competitive against Cal and Arizona State when they're both having down years. And if you don't care, and UCLA doesn't see him, and you're okay with 7-5, and you're okay with the coach who's a grump, then keep Chip. You got the right guy.
Okay, so I want to read something. Dante Moore. Who
five-star recruit who played as a freshman and now he's leaving.
So I think it's his grandmother.
His grandfather.
It says Jane, so I think it's his grandmother.
Oh, I thought it was grandfather.
I read grandfather too, Greg.
Wrote this on a UCLA football chat forum. Could be grandmother, could be grandfather. I want to thank all of the Dante fans I have met on here. To the naysayers, it's okay because everyone is entitled to their opinion. I hold no animosity. Chip Kelly was on his way to ruining my grandson. I thank God that Dante saw it almost immediately. There was no room for a pocket passer at UCLA. The plays he called for Dante were ridiculous. He honestly didn't know how to coach or call plays that Dante could light up the field with. I'm just disappointed that you didn't get to see the real Dante, but in the end has come, and for that I'm grateful. It was painful to watch UCLA football. I do wish UCLA the best, but you'll never succeed until the administration accepts that Chip Kelly is embarrassing the entire program and school. Happy holidays to all of you.
Yeah, did he really write that?
Yeah, I said happy holidays to all of you.
Did you add that?
No, that was real.
Greg, I don't disagree with anything he said.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because when you have an 18-year-old quarterback, you can't sit him because he has a couple bad games. Yes.
No, I mean, look at the history of the school. Cade McNown played as a freshman. He screwed up, but then he turned out to be a great quarterback. Tom Ramsey played as a freshman, turned out to be a great quarterback. I mean, all of a sudden, Dante Moore gets benched because he throws a couple of pick sixes?
Well,
what do you expect? He's 18.
Like he was never the right guy. In other words, if you're going to have a 5-star recruit like Dante Moore, you build the offense around him. You tailor it to him so he can be at his best and have some success. Instead, if you got him running on the run, all that stuff, he's not that guy.
So they screwed this up from the beginning. In the very first game of the season, Chip Kelly wanted to play all 3 quarterbacks, started Ethan Garbers over Dante Moore.
And Greg, how often does playing all 3 quarterbacks ever work?
Never. If you don't know your quarterback, you're going to be a bad team. And so they eventually bring him in, and he was throwing long balls and was looking really good. And then he ended up getting the start the next week. But it's over and over and over again. They kept sitting him, and they'll bring in Ethan Garbers, bring in Colin Schlee, bring in Dante Moore, and you never knew who the quarterback was. It was a mess.
Well, Ireland, you're a pretty powerful UCLA alum. Why don't you?
Obviously, I'm not.
Why don't you call somebody?
Obviously, I'm not. Well,
Hello, Martin. It's me, Ireland, voice of the Lakers. Let me talk to you about Chip Kelly.
Well, here's part of the issue. Casey Wasserman wanted Chip back, and Casey's the biggest donor.
Casey.
So I don't know why. And
Think
Casey
he still wants him back?
Casey is a great guy.
He's a fantastic guy. Huge, by the way, in bringing the Olympics to LA.
Yeah, maybe he's got some insight that I don't, but I don't get this. I don't get why they're bringing him back. The LA Times put out a poll asking UCLA fans, do you want Chip Kelly back? And 71% said no. I don't know what the school's looking at. I mean, it just – I think they looked at the USC game and they said, well, you know, it isn't very often we beat USC. Maybe Chip's on to something. USC quit. USC had no defense. That wasn't UCLA winning. That was USC just forgetting to even come to the game. And now UCLA's stuck with Chip for another year? Have fun.
And like you like to always say, Ireland, like, who's going to be the next guy? Who's the next guy?
Yeah, who's the next guy? So you have to know who you're going to hire before you fire somebody, according to Ireland.
You can go with a failed NFL head coach that didn't work in the NFL, but an offensive-minded guy that can work in the college game, or an offensive coordinator at a very good college a college program that has a good offense. You can bring that guy in. It doesn't need to be the home run hire of Jim Harbaugh, Nick Saban type guys, because that's very rare that it happens.
Look at what Washington and Oregon did.
Yeah.
You know, Kalen DeBoer and Dan Lanning have both been great.
Right.
Fantastic.
So just bringing guys like – you can identify guys like that to bring in. But I'm going to tell you this. When they get to the Big Ten next year, they're going to fail in football next year. They have no quarterback, and they're losing their entire defensive line to the NFL most likely. It's going to be a mess next year.
All right. Well, you have that. Hey, Bruin fans, you have that to look forward to.
Hey,
Sneak
we got
preview
a bunch of foreign guys on the basketball team who can all shoot. So we're looking forward to basketball season.
So today is we're doing Fifth Row Fridays today.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
That's the best thing we do.
So pay attention to everything we say. There will be a question from each show this week. If you can answer all 5 of them at 2:30, you get a pair of tickets to sit in the 5th row at Lakers Charlotte. Right? Is the Lakers Charlotte?
Give me 1 second. Yes, it was Charlotte, December 28th.
December 28th. There you go. So keep on paying attention to everything. And if you can answer all 5. Do we have a question yet today? I don't think so. Not yet today. Oh,
do we?
Bergman's like, I don't know. Do we?
We may.
All right, coming up next, going to spin the wheel of questions. Mason and Ireland, Big Friday, 710 ESPN.
Oh, hey, time to tell you about BBGO. BBGO is the official game day snack of the Lakers. And Bergman and I have been, this BBGO food truck that comes to some of these Laker events, we've been around it a couple of times. It's fantastic. They promise bold, authentic Korean flavor, and that's what you get. Whether for a meal or a snack, it's the perfect way to flavor up for your next get-together. It's America's favorite and #1 Asian snack brand. BBGO believes that food brings people together, and there's no better way than to share some premium, delicious Korean flavors. Here's the thing. BBGO is available in the freezer aisle at your favorite supermarket. You get this BBGO stuff, you put it in your freezer, and then you get home one day and you're like, I don't have any food. Oh, yeah, I got BBGO. And it keeps great, and it tastes great. And trust me on this, if you've never tried BBGO, I've eaten everything they have in their arsenal. It's fantastic. Try it. It's available in the frozen food section of your favorite supermarket. BBGO, the official game day snack of the Lakers.
questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
Right. Okay, this is a good one.
Okay.
Would you rather have a long, average playing career or have a short, fantastic career, but it gets cut short by injury? So let me put some context
Yeah,
to
do it.
All right, would you rather be in this particular scenario somebody like Robert Woods, okay? Long playing career, but I think you would agree he's like an average receiver.
Yeah, I would say.
All right?
He had a couple good years with the Rams. Has bounced around since.
But still in the league, really good guy,
Yep.
great player, all right? Or Bo Jackson, who was like, and I would imagine Robert Woods probably made more money than
yes,
Bo Jackson.
I'm sure he did.
Or, so would you rather have a short, fantastic career cut short by injury? I think Bo Jackson is like the best example of that. I think Bo played like Gale Sayers, I think only played 6 years.
Sandy Koufax only pitched
Sandy
for...
Koufax played 7.
Yeah.
Jim Brown played 9. Jim Brown is too good. Sandy Koufax is too good.
Yeah.
Do Bo Jackson.
Okay, Bo Jackson.
Five years of unbelievable highs. But
So-
then he goes out, or somebody that had a good, or let's say even a little bit better than that, Robert Ory. You know, somebody who won a lot, but is probably never going in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
All right, who would you rather be?
So I'm a big, and John, you know this, I'm a big legacy guy. I want to
Right.
be remembered in some way. People are going to remember Bo Jackson forever. Robert Woods, great player, had great years for the Rams, all that stuff, but I don't think he'll be remembered. So I would say Bo Jackson in a walk.
Bergman, how about you?
Yeah, it's Bo Jackson in a walk because you don't really think about 10 years from now, you're not going to be talking about Robert Woods, but you were still talking about Bo Jackson. And did Robert
Right.
Woods win?
But
He
always
didn't win
said-
with the Rams, right?
I've
he
always
wasn't on
said
that
I'd
team.
rather have Robert Ory's career than Patrick Ewing's.
Yeah, I'd rather have Patrick.
But
Ewing.
that's
He was
titles.
not. Ewing was not average. Ewing was
No,
well
Ewing,
above average.
Ewing was great,
Yeah.
really good, just never won titles.
right.
a long career, though.
Yeah, exactly. Brian, how about you? You want the short, like a comet of a career, or you want the long, steady career?
Yeah, give me Bo Jackson. Give me the Comet, hot, coming in strong, out quick.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
The only
You'll
bad
be
thing is I
remembered.
always felt bad for Bo that we only got a cup of coffee with him. I
Right.
would have loved to have seen what he would have done had he kept going for another 5 years.
Sure. Yeah, is that your answer too?
I would rather be Bo.
Yeah.
I just think that he won the Heisman. He played 2 sports. And then he was out.
Right.
But still, unbelievable play.
Yeah, they still show his highlights all the time, too.
They do. They do. By the way, 2:15 Matthew Berry. So if you got fantasy football questions, make sure you're ready then. 2:30 will be Fifth Row Fridays. Pay attention to everything. 5 questions about this week's shows. Answer them all. You got a pair of tickets in the 5th row for Lakers Charlotte. And let's see, we're not on Game of Games. And it's a brand new month in Ireland. It's your game, right?
Yep, got it.
Bergman won the month.
Yeah, I
did.
It was a bad. I couldn't, Greg. I felt bad. I couldn't compete with you in the final week. I mean,
Yeah,
we
that
never
would've been
even
better.
we never even got to the arena in time for me to play Game of Games. That's how weird this trip was.
Bergman,
Yeah,
yes.
it's never the same when it's not up against Ireland. If you win, or like if I don't
Yeah,
play 1 week,
It's like winning. It's like winning. Like we always wanted Kobe to play LeBron in the finals,
Mm-hmm.
and 1 year LeBron lost to Orlando. It's still a title. The Lakers beating Orlando, but it would have been great if we would have got Kobe LeBron.
So you guys are comparing yourself to Kobe LeBron.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Calling us weak competition.
Yeah, I'm Kobe.
And by
You're
the way,
Robert Ory.
here's how this works, John. So yesterday, Bergman says, "Okay, it's the last day of the month, and it's my game. I can't do a game, so I'll sit this one out. Lindsay's game yesterday. I'll sit this one out."
So Greg
'Cause
punted.
Right, Greg punted. I'm like, I don't care. Just jump in the game, and Bergman won it.
I mean,
'Cause
I
don't care
won
that much.
Yeah, you don't. I already was winning the month anyway.
Right. In the end,
I had
you won
8.
outright.
Yeah.
Brian had a chance to tie you for the
He
month.
did.
Brian's a
If I would have won yesterday, I would have tied him.
So if I wasn't playing, he would have tied me.
correct. There you go.
Oh,
See?
so Mason screwed you, Brian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry about
You
that,
can
Brian.
blame him around the holidays.
You know, I take it so seriously. By the way, yesterday I made the announcement. Not really an announcement, but I have a divot in the middle of my forehead, and I told Bergman it was from a brown recluse spider. And Bergman's like, "No, it's not.
No, it's not.
You would be dead if you
You
got
would
bit
be.
by. You would not be dead.
They
A brown
are
recluse-
killer spiders.
You don't
They
die.
are venomous.
Yeah, but
yes.
you don't. They can kill you, Greg, but you don't necessarily die.
I don't know.
No.
Brian, what?
I was under the assumption that if you get bit by one of those, you're dead too.
You know what? I bet you got bit by a flea from Veronica.
No,
Or
no,
it
this
was a flea that bit him in the
Ireland.
head.
This goes back to like the 90s. I've got this little divot in the middle of my forehead where I got bit by the spider.
Bill's character.
It does. It does. Will a brown recluse spider kill you?
All right, so the first thing, symptoms of brown recluse spider bite includes reddened skin that may be followed by a blister that forms at the bite site, mild to intense pain and itching for 2 to 8 hours following the bite, an open sore with a breakdown of tissue that develops a week or more following the bite.
Thank you. That's exactly what happened. You do not die from. You got a big divot in your forehead.
I like
but you
to
do
think
not die.
that it was not a brown recluse.
Good for you. You think away.
I'm just glad you hit a parlay. You guys used to mock me for even betting parlays, and now you all do it.
Well, I'm the reigning parlay king. I've won. I've had 2 of them this year.
Yeah, I haven't had any.
I hate them still. They're
But I know I'm
stupid.
I'll come up with one before the end of the show for this weekend.
Yeah, do that. Do that. By the way, Lakers lose. I was not surprised that the Lakers lost last night. They finished the trip at 2-2.
They only had 7 guys, basically.
Yeah, they were down. They were down to
problem.
nothing.
And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is just really, really
He's a
good.
superstar.
Yeah.
He's flat out a super. He's no
So,
longer a
I'm
well-kept
hoping-
secret.
Okay, so
You think you can win MVP, Ireland?
Yes.
If Oklahoma City keeps playing like
he
this,
was first team All-NBA last year, Greg. Listen to this. He's averaging 30 points a game, which I think is third in the NBA in scoring. He leads the NBA in steals. All right, so he plays both ways.
Yep.
And nobody can stop him, and his team now is 12-6. So, I mean, come on.
And I think some of these young teams, like Minnesota, Oklahoma City, I don't think they're going
Minnesota
away.
and OKC are right at the top.
Yeah, I don't think they're going away. I think they're going to stay in the race all year long.
Now
They're not
I need
flukes.
these Laker guys to get healthy because Tuesday, we got a game tomorrow night against Houston.
Yes.
I don't care about that game as much as I care about Tuesday's game.
Yeah, Tuesday's
Tuesday's game is tournament quarterfinals. If we win it, we go Thursday. We would leave Wednesday, play Thursday in Vegas in the semis. If we lose, depending on what happens in the other quarterfinal game in the West between New Orleans and Sacramento, we might have to go to New Orleans for one game on Friday. So I'm really, really hoping we win on Tuesday.
So this was something Trudell reported last night during the game. He says that the only player that's been ruled out for tomorrow is Gabe Vincent. That's the only person that's ruled out.
So that's interesting because Jared Vanderbilt hasn't played at all this year.
Correct.
Cam Reddish sat out last night.
Although he did play the night before, I thought maybe that was precautionary. Don't let him play back to back after he's got.
And
the
Jackson
groin.
Hayes had a really bad elbow yesterday, so that's good. That means all 3 of those guys are making progress.
Yeah, and then the tournament on Tuesday is a big deal. So if we beat Phoenix, if the Lakers beat Phoenix on Tuesday, that means they advance to Vegas, right?
Right, and they play the winner of the game on Monday means something to Laker fans. So Monday, New Orleans plays at Sacramento. We are rooting hard for New Orleans in that game because if they win, they go to Vegas, and then we win and we go to Vegas. And if we happen to lose on Tuesday, if New Orleans went to Vegas, then the Sacramento game we get at home, we get at Crypto on Friday night, so we wouldn't have to go anywhere. We get a 42nd home game, so that's what you root for New Orleans on Monday. And then we'll at least know where our next game is going to be after the game on Tuesday.
All right. I'm excited.
A lot of moving parts.
I think the tournament has been fun.
It's been great.
Yeah.
been
Everybody
great.
questioned it, but I think it's been
ratings
great.
are up. People care. It's been really cool.
All right, coming up next, I got a nugget. Bergman sent me originally I thought, what the hell is he sending me? He sent me this tweet in Japanese. But then they have the translate feature. And so I translated it, and it's from somebody who has covered Shohei Otani. And I've got what he says about Shohei coming up next. Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN.
The podcast, that is.
Mason and Ireland, the #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles, and we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, it's Friday. Let's go. Big weekend. Lakers, LAFC. John, I forget where you were or what you were doing. You might have been doing a game, but I tuned in to the LAFC Western Conference semifinal game last week against the Sounders. I caught the second half.
So they're in the final again?
They're in the Western Conference finals tomorrow night against Houston at BMO Stadium. But
so wait a minute. The LAFC is playing Houston at BMO at the same time the Lakers are playing Houston at Crypto?
I believe that is correct, yes.
Wow, weird.
It's going to be crowded downtown. So this goalie is unbelievable. This was one of the great performances, Maxime Crepeau. I mean, LAFC had a 1-0 lead. They packed it in. Seattle was on the attack the entire time, and it's unbelievable the number of times that Crepeau got his fingers on the ball and knocked it away. Just little touch tips that were unbelievable, but he saved it, and they're in the Western Conference Finals, and now they got a chance to repeat as MLS champion.
Last year's MLS final, the one against the Philadelphia Union.
Oh, so good.
Was the best soccer game I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch as much soccer as, Mario or Denholm or, some of these other guys.
Right.
But, man, was that game unbelievable.
Well, remember last year during the final, it was Maxime Crepeau who slid and was it not?
No, Maxime Crepeau. No, Maxime Crepeau got injured last year.
That's what I'm saying. It was that he got injured. He slid.
Not in that. No, he didn't play in that game. He didn't play in the final.
Yeah, no. John McCarthy.
was the goalie in the final. So Crepeau got hurt in a game before the final.
That, and he tore his knee up. He was just in a cast and was all messed up.
And then another goalie started that game.
Yeah,
for
John
LAFC.
McCarthy.
Yeah, John McCarthy.
John McCarthy came in for the penalty kicks. He came in late in that game. There was another goalie that got hurt. And then McCarthy came in and saved the day.
I think McCarthy was the after.
Because McCarthy came in and
he was the guy that was for Philadelphia the year before and won a game for them on the penalty kicks. That's his specialty.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all of our soccer knowledge for today.
And I could be very wrong with all of it.
No, we're just ballparking. Go LAFC! So, John, do you know Kikea Mayadori?
Well, Parker just told me that Crepeau got hurt in the final.
That's what I said!
So Mason was right.
Yeah,
you
Mason
guys are
was right.
correcting me.
Hold on.
Right.
We can all say it together. Mason was right.
Thank you. I knew that was right. Ken Jacob, we talked about it. All right. So, Kikea.
I believe Parker more than I believe you. You say random things.
Yeah, it's very funny. As soon as Parker said it, we all go, oh, that must be wrong. When Mason said it, we go, that's got to be wrong.
Meanwhile, I'm the one of us who was at the game. By the way,
I think you were. You might have been there. Yeah,
Parker
was
at the
there.
game.
Yeah, he was there.
That was a great game. All right, so Kikea Mayadori. Bergman, you sent me this. You translate his bio. Do you have his bio?
Yeah, I just did I keep it up here? Yes. So I mean, the bio takes a little bit away from it.
Okay.
I'm a Dodgers fan who tweets about MLB and the Dodgers. This is a fan's account, so please be gentle. In charge of note planning LA Dodgers.
Okay, that's enough for me. Here we go. This is. It's hard to get information on
Shohei.
Otani,
Yeah,
so let's go with the fan
there.
account. Here's Kikea Mayadori. Otani has been scouting the Dodgers since he was a freshman in high school. When I was in my third year of high school, I had an interview with Otani. And he was positive about joining the Dodgers. And when he was in his third year, he set out for what he called world domination with the Dodgers as a future goal.
Okay, Mace, I got an offer for you.
Okay.
How far ahead am I of him in Mythical Money, Greg?
300 and let's see, you have 3. I got to go all the way down to the bottom now. 330. Stay with me.
Got about
338, and he has 285. So you have about 50.
All right, Mace.
53.
Yes.
$25,000. You get the Dodgers. I get the field for Otani.
Ooh, well, that's a tough wager.
That's actually a really good wager. That would switch the whole
Dodgers
thing.
You don't have to
versus
take it.
the field. Dodgers versus.
I would take that if I was you.
I am going to say yes.
You're going to regret this.
We'll see.
All right, now,
That's the
if
wrong
he
button.
doesn't...
No, that's
if
the one
he-
I meant.
If he doesn't sign in the 2023 calendar year, then the bet is a wash.
Yes.
But I think he's going to sign in December. I think he's going to sign this month. Today's December 1st.
John Heyman, we talked about this yesterday, and John Heyman considered the source, but he says he believes Otani is going to sign before the end of the winter meetings, which would be the end of next week.
So he signs in March.
No, the winter.
Heyman is never right.
Yeah, but the winter meetings are. I think that here's the problem: if you're going to sign Otani and you're going to spend all that money, you need to know you need time to build the rest of your team. So I think he is going to sign this month. I believe that.
And I believe it is going to be, as he said as a freshman in high school, world domination with the Dodgers.
Here's why I don't think it's going to be the Dodgers, and I hope I'm wrong.
Yep.
I think somebody is going to do a stupid money deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'll compare it to when Alex Rodriguez was a free agent. He was leaving the Seattle Mariners.
And Tom Hicks and the Texas Rangers
gave him, at the time, $250 million. Nobody else even offered him $175.
Bidding against nobody went to $250.
Right. Somebody's going to do that. I think it's going to be the Giants. I think it's going to be the Mariners. I think it might be the Cubs. But somebody's going to offer him so much more money than makes sense that the Dodgers are going to go, it's bad business. And the Dodgers never overpay. They sometimes go, like for Mookie, they went
12
right
years.
to the number.
Yeah.
For Freddie Freeman, they actually paid him less than what Matt Olson got to go to Atlanta. And so they got a good deal on Freeman. But I don't think if for example, if the Giants come in and give Otani $600 million, I think Andrew Friedman says, sorry, we're not going there. And that's why I think they're not getting him.
I think they're getting him. I think they owe us. I think he's going to be unbelievable and devastating in that lineup.
How fun will it be to watch a lineup that, seriously, like when you turn on a Dodger game, in order, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Otani. I mean, we're gonna move dinner reservations based on that team if they get him.
No question. And right behind him, tell you what, if they don't get Otani, I think they'll get that Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the pitcher from Japan.
And maybe Blake Snell.
I don't think they're going to go after Blake Snell.
I don't think Snell.
Well, let's see. I mean, again, it depends how much money these guys all get.
Snell's getting 7 years. I don't go to 7 years.
I don't think the Dodgers will go 7 years on Snell.
Otani might get 12, 13.
But as a hitter, I'm talking about Snell as a starter. I mean, you project 7 years, take him through his age 36 or age 37 season.
Somewhere right around there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do 7 years on Snell, despite the fact that he just won the Cy Young. There are two targets, trade targets. One is Dylan Cease from the White Sox, and the other one is Corbin Burns from Milwaukee. The Dodgers are apparently in on both of those guys. They need an anchor for the rotation.
Don't you think that all those are on hold until Otani decides what he's going to do? Not to say they won't go out and get him even if they get Shohei, but they need to know what Shohei's going to cost, don't they?
Yeah, I think they absolutely do. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Shohei's the first domino. I mean, I think it all happens after that. But if Otani reaches some resolution by the end of next week, by the way, next week could be gigantic. Can you imagine if Shohei Otani lands with the Dodgers next week?
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh. Right after the Lakers win the in-season
Yes.
tournament.
Oh, there you go. What do you think of Randy Arozarena?
I like Randy Arozarena.
He is supposedly on the trade block.
He is about as clutchy as a guy can be.
God, he was amazing.
Didn't he kill
28
us?
Years old.
He killed us in that.
He got hits basically every time he came out. It felt like
he was unreal. Yeah, I like Randy Arozarena. So he's on the market.
He's on the market.
The Dodgers did re-sign Jason Hayward, which I think is a smart signing.
Yeah, I like that too.
I want to, before we get to Matthew Berry, you put this in here, so I want to get to it, John. I had this too, but this week, I think it was this week, the Mike McDaniel story with Al Michaels.
Yeah. Now, you have the clip, right?
I do.
Okay, so play it, and I'm going to give you a postscript because Mike has now commented on this after the fact, but I thought this was very funny. Here's Al Michaels on Thursday Night Football, not last night, but a week ago.
One of the running backs that he coaches is dancing with a girl. And Mike says, listen, you're not dancing with her anymore or you're not playing with his team next year. So the guy said, what can I do? So then McDaniel starts dancing with him. That's the beginning of the story. So the bottom line, where am I leading?
Yeah, this is...
4 years later, they're married. Katie, that's how he met her. Hey, you. Get off. I'm dancing with her, right?
Unbelievable.
courtship, he is.
That's a classic.
He is fantastic to talk to.
That's an all-time story. His owner didn't even know that.
No, I
don't think anybody's heard that story.
I told Stephen Ross before. He said, "What?" He said, "It's the best story I ever heard."
So, have you heard what McDaniel said after the fact?
No, I've not heard.
Okay, so here's what he said, quote, this is McDaniel. I'm not using these words. He is. I feel like I was painted out to be a D-bag. The skeleton of the story is correct, but there are a couple of important caveats. My wife was talking about me stealing people's girls. The dude had met her for 45 seconds. It was a very unique scenario.
Right.
It was nice and easy. We were celebrating as a team. I think the running back was well aware when I made that joke in jest. It was more important to me than it was to him, and I'm pretty sure I was right. I have a family now. So I'm not sure what Al got wrong.
No, it sounds like he got it right, but McDaniel made it seem
now,
like he was a
let's say McDaniel
D-bag.
did do that, because we used to hear that USC assistant coaches used to do this all the time.
Oh, I'm telling you, I
remember who was the running back,
Brandon,
the fullback?
Brandon Hancock.
Great guy.
Yeah, great guy. Brandon Hancock, fantastic. I did pregame with him for a long time.
And Brandon played at USC. He came on with it. We loved having him be part of the station. We've lost touch with him. I don't know what he's doing now.
He's a money manager.
Brandon used to tell us that him and his teammates would be out in Manhattan Beach, and some of the USC coaches would come out under the auspice of checking up to see which players were breaking curfew and out on the town.
Yep.
And Brandon said if we were talking to a girl, they would say, "Get out of here. You got a game this
Yeah,
weekend."
they were
and then they would move on the girl.
Yeah, they were competing with coaches for girls in Manhattan Beach.
Right. So I don't think it's that unusual. I actually didn't think it made McDaniel sound like a D-bag.
I didn't
thought
either.
it made McDaniel kind of sound funny.
It's and by the way, you can meet somebody anyway. I mean,
Right.
I like that girl. Hey, running back, go away. This is my girl.
And it's up to her.
Yeah,
by
in
the
the
way.
end. In the end.
I mean, she can tell McDaniel to get lost and go right back at the running back.
Producer
So
Brian, how did you and Allison meet?
College radio, actually.
College radio.
Yeah.
Would you do a show together?
So she definitely
she had
didn't
a
get
show
with
right
you for
after
your
me.
money.
No, not at all.
So you were the lead-in to Allison's show.
Right.
Wow. And did you have crosstalk? Did you have super crosstalk between the shows?
We didn't. No, we should
Oh,
have.
that
Probably
would've
would have
been
got
smart.
together quicker.
Quicker
Yeah.
if there was super crosstalk. Exactly. All right, so I want to throw this out there. Matthew Berry is going to join us next. And if you've got a fantasy football question, a dilemma, a quandary, if you will, 877-710-ESPN. We'll get some calls in, 877-710-ESPN. Or if you go into the Mason and Ireland Mafia, we'll take some Twitter questions in there as well. The general idea is, should I play this guy or should I play that guy? I've got this quarterback or that quarter. Make it simple and clean for Matthew, who's going to join us coming up next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
get it twisted, yo. The most downloaded sports radio show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Mason and Ireland, the number one most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The number one most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles, and we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
Like I should. Yeah, by the way, many people in the Mason and Ireland Mafia saying, yes, Maxime Crepeau broke his leg in overtime of the final game last week, despite
you had it right.
Year.
We doubted you.
Yeah, you doubted me.
We already said you were right. Don't.
Oh, no, I'm reacting to everybody who's saying.
Yeah, we got it. You were right.
Boy, these are good drops. Is Matthew there? Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now, the talented Mr. Roto, Matthew Berry. Matthew, how are you, man?
I'm good, guys. How are you, Steve?
Good. I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to write in that space that you have for Love Hate. I got so much positive reaction to it. It was really, really gratifying, so thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you for doing it. And you did a great job, so I'm not surprised that people reacted as strongly as they did. Yeah, you did a great job. I got a bunch of positive feedback on it as well. A lot of people were like, why don't you just let Mason write it every week?
There you go.
Well, Matthew,
that's a good question.
Yeah, don't tempt fate because he'll take you up on that. But having said that, I thought Mason's message was great. I thought it was very nice of you to let him do it. And I've said to you many times before, and I've said it on the air, Matthew, it's my favorite thing that you write. You're one of my favorite writers, but the Love-Hate column is always about more than football every single time. And that's why it works. So please don't ever change that. Always keep it about more than football. You know what I'm saying?
I do, and I appreciate that. I really like this week's, and next week's is going to be really good too. So
good. Great.
I already know what I'm writing about next week. So it's I'm excited about it.
Okay, so I would imagine that a big player on the waiver wire this week was Zach Moss. If you didn't have him, rostered or you didn't have him handcuffed, but he's all of a sudden going to be the starter in Baltimore. He was really good till Jonathan Taylor got back. Is there anybody else on the waiver wire who people should be looking at and trying to grab?
I can't imagine that Zach Moss is still out there anymore, but you're absolutely correct. You know, I have Moss as my running back 6 last time he played Tennessee. That was the first game that Jonathan Taylor came back, so Taylor only played like 10 snaps. Moss had over 20 touches in that game, almost 200 total yards, 2 touchdowns. In the 4 games in which he's been out, Jonathan Taylor's been out, Zach Moss averaging over 20 touches a game, averaging over 120 yards from scrimmage. So Moss, for the next few weeks while Taylor is out, should be an RB1, a locked-in RB1. I don't know that there's anyone that you love on the waiver wire. It's a pretty ugly week, right, with 6 teams on a bye, and people are banged up. Like, if you're desperate at wide receiver, kind of like A.T. Perry in New Orleans going against Detroit. The Saints are underdogs there. They're likely throwing Chris Olave. Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave are both questionable for this game. I don't think you're going to see Shaheed. Maybe you see Olave, but if he's out there, he's probably less than 100%. Michael Thomas already hurt. So, A.T. Perry is kind of a deep sleeper for me. Like, again, if you're in the 40 range for wide receivers.
Let me get one in here, and then we'll get some calls and et cetera. Ben writes on Twitter, I had Jonathan Taylor, couldn't get Moss from waivers. Should I go Panthers Miles Sanders or Jerick McKinnon, or should I just give up?
Yeah, I mean, giving up is actually probably the best option at this point. You got the best shot at succeeding at that one of the 3. Here's the thing. The problem is that the answer would be McKinnon, because at least you're hoping McKinnon gets maybe a
touchdown.
Quick touchdown.
Yeah.
But the problem is that McKinnon is questionable. Didn't play last week, and that's the Sunday night game on NBC and Peacock. I'm a company man, and so you likely have to make a decision before the games start, unless we get news like Saturday night. If Schefter or somebody like that tweets out McKinnon is expected to play, then you can feel confident about that. But Miles Sanders has just not been good. Right? I mean, and I guess at this point, if I had to pick one right now, I guess Sanders, just because we know he's going to play. And they did fire Frank Reich, Deuce Staley, the Panthers running back coach. So at least there's some variance there, and maybe they want to get Sanders back involved. The truth is, to my eye, Chuba Hubbard's been the much better running back, and he's certainly been the more productive fantasy running back. They played Tampa Bay, which is a top 8 run defense in the last 4 weeks. So it's a bad matchup. He's in a timeshare. It's that's dicey, dude.
Yeah.
Giving
up may be the best option.
Yeah, I liked your answer, Matthew.
I will say, I wonder if there's some desperation running backs out there like McKinnon. I think maybe Patrick Taylor of Green Bay, because Aaron Jones isn't going to play. Samaje Perine is starting to get a little bit more work for Denver. He's out there in some leagues. Maybe Jeff Wilson Jr. Devon Achane is expected to play for Miami, but they're almost 10-point over. Miami is 10-point favorites. Against Washington, and so maybe you can see a three-headed committee with Mostert, Achane, and Jeff Wilson Jr., especially if they're up big in the second half.
All right, Matthew, here's one from Seiko. Taysom Hill, Njoku, or Tutu Atwell. He needs to start 2 of 3. Taysom Hill, Njoku, and Atwell. Which 2 would you start?
Yeah, I would bench Atwell. Atwell would be the guy there. We expect both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua to play. And considering they're playing the Rams, literally the best pass defense in the NFL over the last month, I just don't. With Tutu Atwell, you just really need him to get deep for one, and I just don't see that happening, especially with Kyle Williams back. Like, they're going to try to run the ball here as well. So I think it's the two tight ends. I have Njoku at 5. I have Taysom Hill at 8. And again, you heard me mention when we were talking about A.T. Perry, they're down a couple of pass catchers in New Orleans, so maybe Hill sees a few more looks.
Okay, let's get a call in. Kyle in Santa Clarita, you're on with Matthew Berry. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. I've got Achane, Singletary, and Breece Hall. I've got to start 2. Who do I start?
So Achane, Devin Singletary, and
Breece Hall.
Who's the other? Well, Breece Hall. So I think I'm going Breece Hall, and I'm going Devon Achane. Yeah, I mean, look, it's really close. I have Achane at 21. I have Singletary at 23. But I just feel like Achane has the better matchup against the Commanders. He's got the bigger playability as well. Dameon Pierce took about 20% of the snaps last week from Singletary. Perhaps gets a little bit more. Breece Hall just gets so much work. And Tim Boyle is such a check-down machine. I think Breece Hall is the no-brainer, and then it's kind of a coin flip. And I'd rather have Achane, who's on the better offense and the more explosive player.
Okay, Bergman, what do you got?
So I got Cortland Sutton, Garrett Wilson, or Curtis Samuel. 1. Choose 1.
Curtis Samuel, Garrett Wilson,
Cortland Sutton,
or Cortland Sutton. I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson. I get it, man. It's so tough. That Jets offense is so bad. But in situations like this, I'm just going with the talent. Sutton would be my next chance. I have all 3 of them inside my top 30, and so it's sort of a little bit of luck of who gets in the end zone. But I feel like Samuel against the Dolphins. I don't trust the volume, I guess, with Curtis Samuel. I feel like the volume last week was kind of matchup dependent. I feel like Terry McLaurin is due for some positive touchdown regression here as well. I do like Sutton against Houston. That should be a shootout, but I don't know. I'm just going with the talent on Garrett Wilson.
Okay, let me get something in really fast here. Just quick answers. Eddie894 says Justin Herbert or Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, that guy, Tua.
Tua.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah. Carl Angelo wants to know flex position, Rachaad White or Jalen Warren, half-point PPR.
Rachaad White.
Jalen Warren or Nico Collins wants to know, Christopher Holmes.
I'm going to go with Nico Collins. I like both, though.
Ayaz wants to know C.J. Stroud or Patrick Mahomes. Wow, that's a question.
Oh, sure
right?
it is.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
And I have an even crazier answer for you. Kind of like C.J. Stroud.
Wow.
C.J. Stroud at home. Mahomes on the road at Green Bay. Packers have been playing pretty good defense. The 12th best pass defense over the last month. I expect there might be bad weather in Green Bay. That game at Houston, C.J. Stroud's numbers at home this year have been absolutely ridiculous. I get it. Denver's playing better defense, but Stroud's been so lights out. It's real close. I have them right next to each other in my ranks, but gut kind of says C.J. Stroud.
Hey, Matthew, last thing from me. You watch more football than anybody I know. If you had to vote for NFL MVP today, is it Hurts? Is it somebody else? Who would get your vote?
I think Brock Purdy would get my vote. We talked about this actually, Dan. Believe it or not, we talked about this today on my show on Fantasy Football Happy Hour. We talked about the odds, and like Brock Purdy statistically is like, number one in EPA. He's number one in so many different things. He gets no credit because they're like, oh, it's Shanahan, it's the system. But he's running that system, and he's running it so well. He's playing really well. And he doesn't – Hurts, I get it, they're winning. But if you just look statistically, Hurts is not as good as Brock Purdy. He's not as good as Dak Prescott. Honestly, I would have Hurts at 3 if I had to vote for the MVP right now. I honestly think it's going to be decided in the next 2 weeks because Purdy's going to play Hurts head-to-head this week, and then Dak and Hurts go head-to-head the following week. And so I think sort of after the dust settles on those 2 games, then I think we'll kind of know who our MVP is. But if I had to vote today, honestly, I think it's Brock Purdy. I know a lot of people don't would be like scratching their heads, but if you look at the numbers and you sort of watch those games, Brock Purdy's played unbelievably well this year.
Yeah. All right, so Fantasy Life newsletter I get every single morning in my inbox. You can sign up for that. It's free. Love-hate column is at, I guess it's either NBC Sports or rotoworld.com. Is that what it is, Matthew?
Yeah, either URL gets you there. The newsletter's at fantasylife.com. And, of course, you already mentioned the podcast, wherever you get podcasts, Fantasy Football Happy Hour. But on Sunday morning, we will do fantasy football pregame, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on Peacock and the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. We go all the way up into kickoff. You can either comment on the YouTube show or use the hashtag FFPregame. We answer more questions than any other show, so get your questions in.
Awesome, Matthew.
Great stuff, Matthew.
Let me
Have a
know
great
when
weekend.
you need me to write again, man. We appreciate it a lot.
We'll absolutely. We'll call you off the bench. Thanks, Mace.
All
Thanks,
right.
John.
Thanks,
All right, see you, Matthew.
There's Matthew. Very talented, Mr. Roto. He's everywhere. He's
All right.
everywhere.
Now, coming up, guys, this is my favorite thing that we give away. We give away a lot of stuff. Mason and I, over the years, have given away a lot of crap. This is not crap. This is really, really good. Fifth Row Friday. Mace, my new favorite thing is meeting the Fifth Row Friday winners.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I get to meet them all the time. They are so appreciative and so fun, and they can't believe they're sitting close enough to spit on the court. And I love giving these tickets away, and we're going to do it next.
All right. 5 questions, one about each show this week. It looks pretty tough. So jump on the phones right now, 877-710-ESPN. Let me give you a hint. If you ain't been listening this week, don't fill up a phone line, okay? You have to have paid attention. Otherwise, you will have absolutely no shot to win these fifth row tickets to see the Lakers versus Charlotte on December 28th. So good luck. 877-710-ESPN. We will do that next. In the meantime, let me tell you about Hyundai. So I'm working with the Southern California Hyundai dealers, proudly working with them. And in fact, I went over to Santa Monica Hyundai. I got hooked up with an unbelievable Elantra hybrid. It is my first hybrid. Beautiful ride. Drove off the lot after a perfect buying experience. And now it is your turn with the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. You find the best deals on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Check out the adventure-ready Santa Fe or the fun-to-drive Kona, the stylish Sonata, or how about the spectacular 2024 Ioniq 6. The Ioniq 6 is a tech-forward electric sedan. This is your chance to go EV in an unbelievable ride. I drove one for about a week and blew me away. Every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty and 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. For confidence now and miles down the road, do like I did. Get in, get away with a great deal. It's your journey. Own every mile at Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit buyhyundai.com or see your SoCal Hyundai dealer today. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
continues now.
I see the one that's going to trip everybody up. Do you think one of them's going to trip everybody up, Ireland?
I don't think it's as hard as you do, but I
Number 3.
Yeah, number 3 is the hardest one.
Yeah, that's
for
tough.
sure.
All right, so Fifth Row Fridays, pair of tickets to sit in the 5th row at Lakers Charlotte, December 28th, if you can answer all 5 questions about this week's shows. Ireland, you're going to bring up the first one. It is Nick in Riverside. Nick, you're on 710.
Can I say something real fast?
Yeah.
Before you go out, if you have won before this year, this Fifth Row Friday, do not call. Do not
you're
call
ineligible if you've already won.
Correct.
It's a contest rule. It's not our rule. We can't fix it. So if you've already won, you're out.
Yeah, you're out. You're out. So don't call through. All right. Now let's go to Nick in Riverside. Nick, you're on 710. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, Nick, let's get this. You ready?
Ready.
Question 1. What did Mason take a shot of every Thanksgiving as a kid?
Oh, my God. I have a bunch of notes, too. What did he take a shot of? I'm just going to guess whiskey. I don't think I wrote that down.
No, we're looking for a specific.
It's really specific.
We're looking for a specific name
It's
brand,
really
but thank you,
specific.
Nick.
Sorry. Okay, let's go to Gus in Bell Gardens. Gus, you're on 710. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, Gus, what did Mason take a shot of every Thanksgiving when he was a kid?
Schnapps?
No, not schnapps.
That wasn't until high school.
And let me give everybody a little bit of a hint. It's a brand name we're looking for.
Yes.
It's a brand name we're looking for. All right, go ahead.
Okay, let's go to Chris in Palmdale. Chris, you're on 710. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, fellas. All right, here we go. Dang, that's a tough one.
All right, Chris. Now, guess if you don't know the answer, guess a brand name. What did Mason take a shot of every Thanksgiving as a kid?
Jack Daniels.
Good guess.
Jack Daniels.
Not right.
In the ballpark.
Yeah.
Did you guys? Okay.
You've
Seriously.
told this story before.
I've told.
too.
It's a common story.
Yeah, this wasn't the first time. This was not the same story.
Yeah, no, it was. I told this multiple times on the air. All right. If you don't know, hang up. If you don't know, just hang
let's
up.
we'll give a chance for me. Should I give another hint?
No, I don't think we're in the hint giving mode yet.
All right.
Let's go to Derek in Huntington Beach. Derek, you're on 710. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let's do this.
Hey, Derek, what did Mason take a shot of every Thanksgiving as a kid? It's a brand name we're looking for.
Yeah, I think it was Crown.
It is Crown.
It is Crown Royal. Very good.
All right, number 2. Who is Juan taking for his survivor pick this weekend?
Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's go.
Boy. All right, now we think this is the toughest one. Get this, and you're looking good. Where does Scott Kaplan, get his burritos from?
Let's go. Brothers, cousins, taco.
Boom!
Yeah, nice, man. All right, number 4. This is from yesterday. What dance move did Morales surprise me with at Yamava?
Oh, man. It was, he hit you with your butt. I'm calling it like a butt.
Yeah, what's the name of the dance?
Okay, the name of the dance is, I have my notes here. Let me look.
Okay, we'll give you a second
you
to
10
refer
seconds.
to your notes.
Oh,
Anything?
what do you call it?
5,
It was,
4, 3,
Oh,
2,
damn.
1.
Derek, and I know you were
Derek,
paying
you were
attention.
very
Sorry,
close.
man.
Yeah, because he got those other 3 ones. All right, so he just set somebody up.
Yep. Let's go to Gino in Buena Park. Gino, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Gino, what did Mason take a shot of every Thanksgiving when he was a kid?
Crown Royal.
Who is Juan taking for his survivor pick this week?
The Jags.
Where does Scott Kaplan get his burritos from?
Brothers, cousins, taco.
What dance move did Morales surprise me with at Yamava?
I don't know, the pony?
No.
Close, but not right.
Okay, now this is a common one, right? They talk about this a lot.
Every time they're on remote, they talk about it.
Yeah, and we're looking for the name of the dance. It's 2 words, if that helps.
Okay, let's go to Cecilia in Whittier. Cecilia, you're on 710.
Come on, Cecilia.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, Cecilia, what did Mason take a shot of every Thanksgiving when he was a kid?
Okay, Crown Royal.
Yes. Who is Juan taking as a survivor pick this week?
The Jaguars.
Where did Scott Kaplan get his burritos from?
Brothers, cousins, tacos.
Yes. All right, here we go. What dance move did Morales surprise me with yesterday at Yamava?
Oh, shoot. I'm picking up my son. It's a dance move involving the butt. Is it called, what do you think? The twerk?
What'd you say?
No. I said the twerk?
No. Sorry, Cecilia.
So close.
So close. All right. Let's go to Oscar in Moreno Valley. By the way, this is supposed to be hard. This is supposed to be a test.
I'm glad it's taken a few people.
Yeah, let's go to Oscar in Moreno Valley. Good afternoon, Oscar.
Good afternoon, guys.
All right, Oscar, where did Mason take a shot of every Thanksgiving as a kid?
Crown.
Who is Juan taking as a survivor pick this week?
The Jags.
Where does Cappy get his burritos from?
Brothers and cousins.
Yes.
Yeah, close enough.
What dance move did Morales surprise me with at Yamava yesterday?
The dump truck.
Yes.
Okay. All right, you get this, you get the tickets. Let's bring it home.
All right.
Where am I going to dinner tonight for a spinning salad?
Lowry.
Yeah! Nice work, man.
Thank you, guys.
Oscar, congratulations.
Oscar, you the man.
Thank you, May. Thank you, John.
So
Very well. Hey, Oscar, do you know yet who you're going to bring with you?
Yes, I'm taking my brother. We're both diehard Laker fans. I can't wait to be there.
Awesome, man.
Like, you can't wait to meet you.
Oscar, congratulations.
Say hello to you guys.
Yeah. They'll bring you up for sure. We'll take pictures with you, and you'll love the seats, man. You're like right on top of the court. It's great.
And thanks a lot for listening, man. We appreciate you. Thank you very much, and congrats. All right, there's Oscar. Nice. It was tough. Yeah, did you see the video of me getting the dump truck yesterday? It looked like a crash test dummy. I got Morales hit me on one side. I got Kaplan hit me on tell you, it's so weird doing shows with those guys. All right, it is time for Game of Games. Now, it is Ireland's game today. It is a brand new month. Let's see, who's going to play Game of Games with us? How about, why don't you get Joe Fortenbaugh? Not available? Okay. We'll find another player. We'll do Game of Games next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
All right, time to talk about one of my favorite clients here at ESPN LA, iSpot Active. Remember this website, iSpotActive.com. I'm big into cryotherapy. For years, I've been dropping $50 to $100 a session to go into an ice-cold chamber and deal with the soreness in my joints, my back, my knees, my elbows. iSpot Active has solved this problem for a way better price than what you pay when you go to a cryo chamber. iSpot Active is wearable cryotherapy. They have compression shirts and pants with ice-cold gel packs that go right into the shirts. You put these on for 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, I feel pain-free. It'll work. It works for me. I know it'll work for you. You got to try this. If you're somebody who has to deal with soreness, go to that website, iSpotActive.com. You'll see testimonials, one from James Worthy, the Hall of Famer. There's a doctor on there explaining how all this works. But if you're somebody who's active and you deal with soreness, try iSpotActive.com. Once you put this stuff on, leave it on for 20 minutes, and here's the best part. It's wearable. You just go about your day. You feel like you have football pads on. And 20 minutes later, every time I take the shirt off or the pants off, I feel better. Give it a shot. iSpot Active, iSpotActive.com.
The most followed sports radio
going. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, here we go. It is Game of Games time, and Laura Romo is here to play
What's
along
up?
with us. How are you, Laura?
I'm doing well.
Excellent.
Yeah. Busting a Cappy move with the glasses.
Oh, yeah, you got the sunglasses on, yeah. All right, so let's see. Ireland's game. Ireland, what do you got cooking?
All right, guys. I'm glad Laura's here because, Laura, I think you might do well in this. Let's see.
Okay.
Today
no pressure.
is December 1st. So I have a game about people with birthdays in December. I'll describe somebody with a December birthday, and as soon as you guys know who I'm talking about, your name is your buzzer.
Okay.
I have 8 of these and a tiebreaker.
All right. I'm generally good at name your
I'm not.
No.
And especially for birthday things.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
me. This is all
Mace is normally good. I think everybody's got a shot.
Okay.
Here we go.
Good.
This December birthday happened in the South in the 80s. She has earned numerous awards, including a Grammy, 15 Guinness World Records.
Greg. Oh.
Greg.
Yeah, man. Guinness World Records. I was going to say Carrie Underwood.
Incorrect. So you're out on this one, Greg. I'll keep going. 15 Guinness World Records, 6 MTV Video Music
Mason.
Awards. Mace.
That's Britney Spears.
It is Britney
Yeah.
Spears.
I
Way
was
to
like,
go,
Guinness
man.
World
Yeah.
Records? What Guinness World
Britney.
Records?
From the South was the key to that
But
whole
what's the
thing.
Guinness World Records? That's
I have no dancing
I think it's
the most
for
without
most.
singing.
Greg, I think most of them is like most records sold by a teenager, most that type
that's
of
a
stuff.
Guinness World Record.
Most days
Yeah.
dressed
Okay.
like a schoolgirl, all that stuff for Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. So,
that was so nice back in the day.
Oh, you
Okay.
creepy.
Well, it's not creepy. I'm a male.
all right, number 2.
Number 2.
Before one of you gets in trouble. All right.
I was young.
This December birthday happened in the same year I was born, 1963, in Shawnee, Oklahoma. His real name is William, but nobody calls him that. As an actor, he has 2 Academy Awards, 2 British Academy. Greg.
Billy Crudup.
No.
That's a weird
William,
guess.
Billy.
He
I
has-
went with the Billy.
he has
Look,
no
I'm
Academy
you're
Awards.
good at this. I don't
Okay.
know what he
Okay.
has.
And by the way, I don't think Billy Crudup has any Academy Awards.
I have no idea. I'm really not sure
All right,
who
but
he
this,
is, to be honest.
This guy, the one I'm talking about, has 2 Golden Globe Awards and a Primetime Emmy Award. He has been married to 2 of the most famous actresses in the world, but he's not with either one of them anymore.
Mason.
Mace.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt is correct, and Mason is up 2-0.
His name's William?
Yes, I was like, it's
His name
Pitt,
is William Bradley Pitt.
There you go.
Oh.
Did
I
you know
didn't
this,
that.
Mace? He produced The Departed,
Yes.
12 Years
Yes.
a Slave, and Moonlight.
Yeah, his company is unbelievably successful. Yeah.
All 3 of those won Best Picture, right?
yeah.
Departed, 12 Years a Slave, and Moonlight?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Where you
All
at,
right,
Brian?
Mason's up 2-0. Somebody better come for him.
I'm trying.
we
All right.
trying.
Brian, you alive over there?
Yeah, this is tough.
All right.
Tough for Brian. Tough for Brian.
Just guess, people. That's what I'm
This
doing.
athlete was one of several athletes born on December
Greg.
30th. Greg.
Ooh, there's going to be a couple of them, but I'm going to go with LeBron.
Incorrect.
Dang.
As a high school freshman, he was 5
Oh.
feet 8 inches tall, but
Mason.
grew to 6'5". Mace.
Is that Anthony Davis?
No.
Brian.
Brian.
Paul George?
No.
Oh, it's just
Laura,
Laura.
it's all
you get
yours.
the whole clue.
I have. Okay.
Listen to all of
Listen
it.
to all of it.
Laura, it's kind of hard, so listen to all of it. He grew to 6'5" as a senior and graduated in 2011 as the valedictorian of his class. He is a quarterback who has played professionally in Philadelphia, Washington, Indianapolis, and now L.A.
Yeah. Okay.
He was drafted second in his sports draft in 2016, right behind Jared Goff.
I'm gonna.
All right, here's the last
Listen,
one, Laura.
listen to all of
Listen
it.
to the last
Listen to
one.
all of it. Here's the last. He's now Matthew Stafford's backup on the Rams. Who is it?
I don't know.
Oh, Laura.
Laura, would it help if I said he used to be the quarterback? If I was a little more specific, the Eagles.
I mean,
the
I know who it
Commanders,
is.
It rhymes
the
with.
Colts.
I was like, I know his name, but it's not.
It rhymes
Color.
with Warson Kent's.
It's Carson Wentz.
Carson
Laura.
Wentz.
I was like,
That was the
I was
best
gonna
clue of
say
all.
Pete Wentz, no lie.
Oh, okay.
Pete Wentz.
We might have given you credit.
The Wentz, you know.
All right,
yeah.
everybody's still alive. Here we
Okay.
go. This December birthday happened in Mount Vernon, New York in the 1950s.
Oh man.
In 2022,
No,
Laura, I
what?
guarantee you know who this is.
Oh.
In
Oh, God.
2022,
No pressure.
he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He has won pretty much every acting award that exists, including a Tony Award, 2 Academy Awards, 3 Golden Globes, the Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award, and
Brian?
the New York Times. Brian.
Martin Short.
Oh,
Martin
Short
Where the hell
hasn't
did that
won
come
2
from?
Academy Awards,
I
Brian.
heard Tony.
Right.
You
All right.
heard Tony?
I heard the Tonys. So I was like, oh,
Yeah. All right,
The
keep
New
going.
York Times named him the greatest actor of the 21st century.
I'm just gonna go
He
Greg.
is a late Greg.
I'm just gonna go Tom Hanks.
No.
Mason.
Mace.
Robert De Niro.
No. Laura. It's
Tim
open
Allen.
for you
I don't
again.
know.
No,
Tim Allen.
Laura,
Allen
stay-
was the guess.
No, Laura, stay with me because
I'm
you'll-
so bad at this.
you'll get this.
She already guessed.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, she guessed Tim Allen.
No, but she didn't buzz in.
Oh, right. You didn't buzz
All right,
in, so
Laura, stick
technically
with me
you're
here,
still
okay? He's a Lakers fan who can often be seen
Jack
sitting.
Nicholson.
No, Laura,
Oh.
don't wait till the end. Laura, wait till the end.
You've gotten it wrong twice already, but we're going to let you keep guessing.
The Lakers
so bad.
fan who is often seen sitting courtside at Crypto.com. Among his movies, Laura, are Remember the Titans, Man on Fire, Inside Man, American Gangster.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah!
Hey, 3 guesses got there.
I still like the guess of Tim
I'm
Allen.
still
I also
drugged.
like the guess of Martin Short. These are and Billy Crudup. We're
Hey,
just
hey.
throwing out names.
Hey,
Well,
Mace,
Billy Crudup, I had some reasoning for.
wait a minute. Mace, how about Martin Short as the New York Times named him the greatest actor of the 21st century?
He's pretty good.
He's
Billy
very funny.
Crudup, 2 Oscars.
He's a 3 amigo, so you know.
Hey, I said Pete Wentz, bro.
All right.
Tim Allen, greatest actor of all time, according to
All
law.
right. Mason leads 2-1. We're 4 more. Here we go.
Okay.
So, Mace, you can lock this up. You can lock up at least a tie if you get this.
Okay.
All right. This December birthday happened in the Midwest in the 80s. He was such a good wide receiver in high school, he was recruited by some Division I programs, including Notre Dame. At the conclusion of his second year of high school, he was named first-year All-State, and as a junior, he helped lead
Mason.
his football team, Mace.
I'm going to go LeBron.
It is LeBron.
Yeah.
Way to go. I was turning the corner next. Football wasn't his best sport, and then I get into the basketball stuff. So Mace has at least a tie.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Mace, you can
Congrats,
win it
Mace.
Good
if
month.
you get this.
Okay.
All right?
This is a weird month.
I
too.
wanted to let you win.
All right.
Tim Allen.
Thank
Don't
you.
say
Tim
that.
Allen.
This December birthday happened in Washington, D.C. in the 1940s.
No
He
clue.
worked as a stand-in for Bill Cosby on The Cosby Show for 3 years and was mentored by Morgan Freeman. Almost nobody knows that his middle name is Leroy, but almost everybody knows his middle initial. The films in which he has appeared have grossed over $27 billion worldwide. Brian.
Samuel L.
Yeah,
Jackson.
it's a-
Boom.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah, that's a
Nice
good
job,
pull.
Brian.
There we go.
Yeah,
think
I was
I'm
like L,
out.
L, the L.
All right, so Greg and Laura
Good
are,
pull.
or no, Laura's still alive. Greg, you're out.
Sorry,
Okay.
Greg.
There are
That's
two,
okay.
I mean-
there are 2 left.
Billy
And-
Crudup.
I need one to win, right?
Yep. And Brian and Laura need to get this to stay alive.
All right, let's go.
All right. This birthday happened in Cypress, California in the 80s. He stuttered as a child and would talk to his dog, who would sit there and listen until he fell asleep, and that's how he finally learned to stop stuttering. He has described his own ethnic makeup as Cablinasian. Mason.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods,
Yeah.
and Mace wins
There
it.
you go.
Congrats, Mace.
I've never heard that story about how he used to talk to his dog, and that's how he
No,
stopped
or
stuttering.
that he stuttered. I had no idea.
Yeah.
This is a hard game.
That was a hard game. But
I suck
should
at
be
these
hard.
games.
But Mason won it.
I'm winning the month.
Congrats, Mace.
There you go.
All right,
You guys want to do the last one just for kicks?
Yeah,
or do you wanna
sure,
move
sure.
on? All right.
Billy
do it.
Crudup.
This December birthday happened in 1967 in Terrell, Texas. His real name is Eric Bishop, but he's known by his stage name.
Oh, no.
no.
I know this.
Oh,
too.
In
no.
2004, he won an Academy Award, a BAFTA, a Screen
Mason.
Actors Guild Mace.
That is Matthew McConaughey?
No.
No.
and a Best Actor, all for the same role.
Oh, my gosh.
All right? That same year that he was nominated for that role where he won Best Actor, he also was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role in the movie Collateral.
Greg. Jamie Foxx.
It's Jamie Foxx, right. Way to go, Greg.
Good one.
All right, Mason wins it. And Mace, you got to get out of here.
Yeah,
right?
I got to get out of here, but
Bye, Mace.
I will
Matthew,
be very
good.
I
Have
will
fun.
be very
Congrats, Mace.
curious to hear this segment.
Sedano's around.
Yeah, Sedano's around. We'll hear from Kaplan. Joe Fortenbaugh will join. It's going to be just all-around fun. All right, I'm back Monday at 1. Right now, it's time for some Super Crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason in Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, it is time for Super Crosstalk, but I was not here yesterday. I was in Oklahoma City working the Laker game, and apparently there were fireworks that I missed. Now, Sedano, were you part of yesterday's Crosstalk?
I was not. I wasn't there at all, John.
Okay, and is Cappy with us yet?
He's not. He's running late, shockingly.
Shockingly. Or maybe he was so altered by what happened yesterday that he's too hurt. He's
no,
too
he's not.
offended.
He misread his calendar, of course.
Now, Chris.
So he thought it was a 4 to 6 show, even though in his calendar it says 3 to 5, which is amazing.
Chris,
and now
here's
he's
what-
blaming Lindsay for telling him yesterday.
Who's not even here today.
Right. She had the
Yeah.
day off for months on this day.
Yeah.
He's blaming Lindsay somehow for this.
So, Morales, here's the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah.
You love chaos.
I do.
You are the biggest fan of the shows going off the rails.
Correct.
Yesterday's show, apparently, I wasn't here, but you can enlighten me, went completely off the rails, and I heard you went the other way, like you got rid of all the podcasts.
Well,
like
I don't
you
know who
told
said
nobody-
that. Who said that?
Bergman.
Oh, Bergman, you said that?
I didn't say that.
Wait a minute, Greg. Do I got to go back and get the tape? Mason and you told me that Morales said I'm not letting any of it.
Mason may have said that, but yeah, we got rid of stuff. Like the,
All right,
So I don't want to say the word "got rid of," and
No,
I really
yeah.
wanted to address this at 3:15ish when Cappy's here, but we can do a little bit now. Here's the thing. Good Karma Brands is the owner of this radio station. They are ESPN, one of ESPN's biggest partners on the audio
Sure.
and now digital and television standpoint from an ad sales marketing standpoint. Our slogan at GKB is fans, partners, teammates. We love our fans. Our fans feel part of our family. They are part of our family. So I understand when we pivot from being completely 100% authentic, completely doing everything, showing it all behind the scenes. That's what makes this radio station magical and better.
It's kind of your thing.
It is my thing. So when these moments happen, by the way, live on radio, live on video, on remote, I think that sometimes people need to understand this is a business where decisions have to be made in seconds, and you've been part of that, John, many times over your career, right?
Of course.
And the partner aspect is Prize Picks is one of our valued partners. Mr. Fortenbaugh does not appear courtesy of Prize Picks. Prize Picks sponsors the segment. They do not compensate him for this, so it's a
Okay.
separate thing. We want to protect Prize Picks in that moment. We also want to protect teammates. He's an ESPN teammate. We want to make sure that we can do our due diligence to figure out exactly what happened. Now, part of this, as somebody who's produced radio shows for years and been part of all this, and we all have been part of this, is this was sort of a pre-show communication error on all of us, which is, had we all been in the studio, Greg picks up the phone or somebody else and says, hey, today it's Kaplan filling in for Ireland, blah, blah, blah. At that moment, somebody might say, hey, wait a minute, what? I don't like that guy. I'm not coming on. And then we could figure it out from there. Instead, we were all on remote. We're all having a party, and we didn't do our due diligence. And that's nobody's fault. It just is what it is.
And, of course, I wasn't there, Ireland.
Well,
So
that's
clearly, if I'm not there, nothing can run on the
Sedano,
tracks.
are you as surprised by me at the level of maturity Morales is showing right now? Because normally, if somebody called into the station and two guys got in a beef, Chris would milk it for months.
You're right. But let me say this, and this is the term Sedano always uses, which I think he got from Dan Lebitard. Do you get the show? Meaning,
Okay.
when it's people that are part of our circle of nonsense, it's okay. It's part of the game. obviously in that moment, it became very clear to the 7 of us or 15 of us that were on the stage, if you will, that, this isn't part of the show. This isn't a guy who gets what we're doing and obviously has a beef. Now, my natural inclination is to protect talent. I grew up with the talent, my father, so it's to protect it.
I would disagree with that. I think your natural inclination is to poke talent.
I poke. But when somebody else is poking in a very aggressive, non-funny way, I'm going to protect. So if we were doing the Mason and Ireland show and I happen to be in here and somebody came on and said that to you, John, my natural thing would be, let's protect John. But also, we got to think about the partner that is investing a lot of money.
Right, but I disagree with your premise. I remember one day when I lost it because I was getting asked to do too much stuff on the air. You got on me on the air about it for days.
I did, but that's me. I think you know that we're just doing a bit. We're doing fun.
Okay, so
you get what I'm saying?
Because Joe doesn't
part of the
necessarily
circle.
get the show.
He isn't part of the station.
He's not part of the fun and frivolity.
Right. I'm sorry I missed it. Aren't you, George? I wish I would have been here.
If I would have been there, that might have ended differently.
It might have ended the whole
It might have been poor for everyone in that scenario if I was there.
Now, here's the hilarious part, John. I made a joke in the beginning of the show and you know me, I'm always trying to poke the Bears. And I said, isn't it more fun when Ireland and Sedano aren't here? And 22 minutes later, my karma got me.
That's what happens.
The karma got me. Because I love you both dearly, and you guys are the most,
had we been
polished.
There, we would have leaned into it. For sure, George and I.
Well, I would have asked some questions, for sure,
Right, because Cappy is an idiot sometimes, but he's our idiot.
Correct. Well, that's the thing.
He's a lovable idiot.
Yeah. So then at that moment,
we all are, kind of.
Mace made a very professional move to keep it all together. At that moment, for all of us to just sit there and be on camera would have been a little odd for everybody. And I know everybody on...
And you're on remote.
And we're on remote.
Another element to it.
So there's two things. You hate remotes, which I think in these cases are a valid reason, and I hate guests. And I hate guests that are not part of the circle.
Like the perfect storm.
It was the perfect storm. And for everybody on Twitter that's got an opinion, and I appreciate that you do because you are part of our family. You're our P1s. But remember, in those communities and the Reddit page, probably all combined, 4,000 people.
Oh, at least.
This radio station reaches 500,000 people a week, which means we are a blowtorch. So let's say we did go down that road of them beefing it out. People are going to pick that up. And we don't need that. We want to be the fun radio station that nobody's paying attention to. And everybody when I say that, I mean the bigger people in the world, right? Mm-hmm. In the companies that we work with. We don't need that attention. Just let us do our thing and leave us alone like Animal House. Okay. So many quick decisions came into place. And it wasn't, by the way, everyone thinks it was all me. Corporate Greg was part of these. Mace was part of these. We were all kind of making the decisions in real time.
Well, what I said about it was, and then we'll move on to something else, if Joe was willing to come back on and explain, kind of lean into it and explain why he's mad at Cap and maybe agree to, work it out on the air, I'd be all for it.
Another trial of the century?
Didn't sound like it.
It doesn't sound like he's willing to engage in that way. So I think it may be over, but we'll see.
But I will just tell everybody
I got the same problem.
Oh, there's Cap.
So, Cap, we addressed this early because John wanted to get into it. And I wanted to explain it to John and George who weren't there.
And, Cap, I mean, I haven't talked to you about this, but you have no idea what his beef is, right?
No. So the thing is that, I on one hand, I think it'd be really fascinating to have him come on the air and tell me what the issue is. The only thing is, though, is what if it's really, really, really bad? I have literally no idea.
Yeah. It's probably a risk you don't want to take.
Right. Well, that's just it. Is that so? Listen, all I can figure out is
would be I've anything you could have done. You and I have known each other casually for 20 plus years. I can't imagine there would be something, even if I was really mad at you, that we couldn't work out on the air.
Well, the other thing is this. Let's just play it out this way. What if we've actually never met each other? We've never crossed paths. And the only thing is that there was a series of tweets from 2018 when he was covering the Raiders and their potential move, and I was covering the Chargers and all their moving up to L.A., and there was at one time a rumor that the Raiders might come play in San Diego. This could not possibly be over a Twitter thing. No, you can't be that angry 5 years later.
Maybe I've said there, George, I don't know if you have any people like this in your life, but there are two sportscasters, and I promised both of them that I would never speak of them on the air, so I won't say their names. But two guys over the years, and this was both years ago, that were so mad at me that I made fun of them on the air that they no longer speak to me. And they hash out, and I just said some people don't want that. Don't have that club in their bag. They just don't want to be joked about.
Johnny you remember I told you the story about T.J. Simers, the columnist from the LA Times years ago. He and I made a bet.
Does he hate you too, or?
Well, yeah. So here's what happened.
Radio at Coconut Michael has a list, a running list of the people you've pissed off. So if you want, we could add we could add T.J. Simers too.
Well,
The funny thing is, I get along really well with TJ.
One time,
Go ahead.
but years ago, the Padres and the Dodgers were in a playoff race, and TJ comes on the radio down in San Diego, and he says the Dodgers will wind up winning the division because they're up. That's exactly what he said. And I'm the homer. I'm going, no, the Padres are going to win, right? And the Padres wound up losing like 10 straight games to finish the season. So the bet with TJ Simers was that if the Dodgers win the division, he gets to host the show that morning, the next morning. He takes the whole, all the airwaves for 4 hours. And if the Padres win, I get to write his column in the LA Times. Well, of course, the Dodgers won the division, and I had to give up the radio show to TJ and his daughter. But the program director at the radio station was like, oh, no way, we're not doing this. So they moved us down the hallway to another frequency and put us on the air that morning while TJ took over our airwaves. And TJ never spoke to me ever again because he said that wasn't paying the bet. The bet was we get the show, you go off the air.
Those were the old double X sports radio.
That's right.
Yeah, but he's kind of right, isn't he? In that
yeah,
scenario?
Of course he was right. But that was the program director.
So let's go back to our point, Cappy,
Yeah.
because it's a business, and this is what we get back to here. It's a business. We love all of you fans. You're part of our family. But at the end of the day, if we don't make this business profitable, which Good Karma is moving towards that, without Good Karma brands, and George, you can back me up here, this radio station wouldn't exist anymore.
Well,
and none of us would.
Not only would I was just going to say, not only would it not exist, probably most of us wouldn't be here.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but I don't want to be in any beef with anybody for this reason.
Well, obviously there's a list of people you're in a beef with.
Right, but
Coconut Michael
But here's
on
the
phone.
thing: if you told me Scott Van Pelt came on the air and said what he said, and I could turn that into a whole bunch of publicity for myself, I'd do that. Not like this. No, this is not. Big enough.
No, that's why we took stuff down because we didn't want the publicity. We didn't want you being exposed.
Again, I'm gone for one day and the house burns down. What the hell?
Now, I want to say something too that John you mentioned because I got heat this morning. We have a content committee call at GKB, and there's 6 people on it every week. And other than Evan Cohen, the other people on it came at me hard. Though this goes against the fabric of everything LA. This is against what you do. What makes magic in LA. And it's true. But again, sometimes we have to put those business hats on, and that's what we did.
That's what I would have said in that meeting, too. I'd have been like, you're crazy, man. I'm taking the reins off and doing what I want to do.
Well, I understand. But again, then you're going to cry to us all when 14 different websites are running the story, and people want to talk to you and figure out what's going on.
To your point, and I say this all the time, because sports is entertainment, but sponsors in general, and we value sponsors greatly, sponsors in general don't want a lot of negativity. They don't want their products associated with that. So if he's seriously mad, and it sounds like he is, it's best not to beat that drum anymore.
What's he so mad about? That's what I don't know.
You can't tell people how to feel, Cappy. So he obviously is mad.
Those two people that I had the run-ins with years ago, they're still mad, and I don't know what they're mad about.
Exactly. And you're John Ireland. You're a legend.
Very, very weird. Hey, last thing before I get out of here, because I got to go pick my wife up at the airport. But Sedano, are you now glad? Will you now admit that the Heat made the right move taking Jaime Jaquez?
Right, but my issue was not about Jaime Jaquez, the player. It was just that I never thought he'd see the uniform because he was going to get traded for Damian Lillard.
Yeah, but I mean, he's.
Oh, no, listen, if you're
I love
asking
the
me
fit
right
for
now,
him
if you're
down
asking me
there.
right now, would I rather have Jaime Jaquez for the next 15 years, especially right now at his number, at what he make? I don't know what he makes, $2 million or whatever.
He slotted. He was like, what was it, the 21st pick?
Right, whatever he makes, $2 million or whatever it is, to Dame Lillard 60. I mean, in the short term, you still want Dame. I don't think there's any question. But in the long term, I think I'll be okay with Jaime Jaquez.
Well, George, not only will you be, I know you will be. I know you and I know him, and you're going to love him. He's like, all that stuff that the Heat puts on the court about culture.
Oh, he's all that. There's no question.
All of it. And Pat Riley's going to love him because he works on his body, and he's like the first guy to practice and the last guy to leave. He's like exactly what the Heat is all about.
So what it's funny, I just had this conversation with somebody. I was talking to a GM earlier today, and we were talking about him. Like, we were talking about rookies, right? Because I was just kind of getting his feel for, like, because I'm doing a Wemby game next week.
Yeah.
So
I
was
saw
just
Chet Holmgren last night. He's great.
Yeah. So I was just talking to him about the rookies, and he brought up Jaquez. And I said to him, this is going to sound insane, okay? But they have trusted him more in his first 20 whatever games that he's played, Jaime Jaquez, than they even trusted Dwayne Wade in his first 20 games. Now, he's not going to be the talent Dwayne Wade is, but it's just right away he was so ready that Spoelstra was like, yeah, we're good with him playing these minutes and playing in this role.
And George,
and they weren't with that with Dwayne.
He almost never makes the wrong play.
Right.
Like he's just a smart player. I watched every one of his college games, and he was just such a great. That's why he was a Pac-12 Player of the Year. He was a great player. All right, I'm going to let you guys take it over, and everybody have a great weekend. Sedano and Cap coming at you next on a Combo Plate Friday, ESPN LA.
Elevate your game at Hollywood Park Casino.